What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. How you doing today? I'm doing good. Assuming that you asked. But no, we're back here today to talk about some interesting news regarding the upcoming MCU films, mainly Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. A little bit of disappointing information has come out regarding these films. In regards to the lead, originally we were going to be getting Mr. Reed Richards himself, Pedro Pascal, as the lead and the main focus of the story, which only makes sense because the big bad is going to be Dr. Doom. And if you know anything about the Fantastic Four, Dr. Doom's one of their enemies. Actually, directly like Reed Richards' nemesis. He's like the second smartest person on the planet, right behind Reed Richards. Generally, depending on who you talk to or who gives the hierarchy of intelligence inside the story at the moment. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. This information comes after the box office numbers for the second weekend for Fantastic Four First Steps comes out, and it is at a staggering 66% decrease, which is surprising to me. By no means was the movie perfect, but you guys definitely can see on the channel that I did quite enjoy the movie. I think that it was a good representation of the Fantastic Four and who they are. Definitely like prioritizing family over almost everything, as well as giving us a really good look at Galactus and making him a formidable foe that is like crazy powerful and, you know, everything but a pushover, unless you're Sue Storm at the end of the movie, and then you use everything that's giving yourself life to push him over, literally. But it is a little disappointing because it kind of gives you things to gives you things to think about in regards to how bad the Marvel Cinematic Universe's name is now tarnished, and it's unfortunately got to come from the lackluster delivery of films like Quantumania, where Kang is defeated by a bunch of ants, and they you know talked him up to be this essential replacement big bad for the next 8 to 10 years, similar to how Thanos was supposed to be, or Thanos was, I guess. He wasn't supposed to be. He did it quite successfully. But and then like our first look at Kang is him getting defeated by ants and Ant-Man. Not saying that, you know, anything's wrong with Ant-Man, but like, let's be real, my guy. Like, we're talking about a being that can control time, and he couldn't see ahead and see that he was about to get destroyed by some fire ants. Like, that doesn't really scream all powerful, you know. And then not to mention Brave New World, Captain America Brave New World. Another film that I generally thought was okay. I liked it. I didn't dislike it. It wasn't perfect. I don't really like the whole, you know, give billions of dollars to Israel underlying story that was there. But, you know, for the most part, the movie was okay. The Red Hulk was definitely the best part of the film, and unfortunately they gave that away as soon as the first trailer was out. So there was really nothing to look forward to, which was really disappointing because Anthony Mackie should, you know, at least have his time to shine as Captain America. He deserves that much. He's been in the MCU for like 8 years now. And then, you know, obviously Steve Rogers is going to come back eventually, whether he's recast or as Chris Evans in the Doomsday film or in Secret Wars. But he should deserve his time to shine, and I feel like they took his name and tarnished it and like kind of spit on it and made it a kind of wannabe Hulk sequel, but not really a Hulk sequel because the Hulk's not in it, but his enemy from the first movie's in it, and, you know, his enemy from the first movie that was supposed to be built up is also now in it as well. And overall, I just feel like people aren't in touch with the Hulk story to understand that that was, you know, a decade in the making, or even remembered who that person was if it wasn't for that small little like debriefing in the very beginning of the film that I'm sure most people were still confused by. But yeah, it also has to has a lot to do with, like, you know, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where it's setting up all of these different storylines that a lot of people, um, I guess I could put myself in that crowd, myself included, are just kind of disappointed that a lot of these scenes and these stories that they're building up just are not coming together how we expect or how we want. I mean, for God's sakes, look at Secret Invasion as well. Like, that's another prime example of it just being a story that's amazing in the comics and it falling flat on its face because either the directors just don't know how to tell the story, or B, they end up doing some creative decisions that just are not the best, like making Rhodey a scroll ever since Civil War and destroying his whole storyline in Infinity War and Endgame. It's just a little disappointing, and we're unfortunately seeing that again, where the Fantastic Four doesn't do too hot on its second week numbers, and now Marvel's decision, instead of giving it the chance to like breathe on its own, because Fantastic Four is a good film, and Thunderbolts is a good film, or my bad, the new Avengers is a good film, but they're just gonna like reshuffle the storyline that they're building up to right now because they don't want it to fail. They want it to make $2 billion, not just $1 billion. And if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's going to be considered a failure. Well, unfortunately, newsflash, guys, the MCU had like 27 films in it before Endgame, and it was planned from the very start. And this second, iteration and second story arc, I guess you could say, that they're building towards, if you guys keep just building up to nothing and reshuffling everything constantly, then it's going to feel the same every single time, where no matter what story you deliver and give to us is going to feel like it's underdeveloped and not built up to. Now, I would say that the biggest mistake that they made for the Fantastic Four is not giving us Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. I understand he's a big actor. Huge announcement that honestly probably shouldn't have been announced 2 years ago at Comic-Con. They should have just kind of waited and let it, speak for itself in the film. But the what is the old saying? The cat's out of the bag or something like that. I don't know. It's already said and done with, and now they have this story with Reed Richards' nemesis, and for us as an audience, we don't even understand why they would be rivals to begin with, because they have no sense of backstory. And it's really unfortunate because Pedro Pascal, though I'm not really too fond of him anymore because he's in everything that's, coming out right now, he's a phenomenal actor, and I think that he nailed Reed Richards pretty good. It's just a little disappointing that they're not even going to give them the chance to make a good story. They're just going to assume that because Fantastic Four didn't draw in the crowd for weeks and weeks to come, that this upcoming film is going to be a failure off rip. It's very disappointing, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on the whole situation. I'd really like for them to just leave it alone and keep the story going in the direction that they already have it planned. I like not Secret Invasion. I like Secret Wars. It was a good story. I just really wish that there were some aspects that could have been built on more. I wish that all the heroes from the MCU, like movies and TV, could be in it, but I'm pretty sure that they won't be able to. But honestly, is this really Doomsday, or is this going to be X-Men versus Avengers, with Dr. Doom just so happening to appear because, you got to get your cash cow in there? I don't know. I guess we'll see. That's just one man's thoughts on the whole situation. You guys go ahead and let me know yours. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Come back every single day for a new video, new upload, some days even two. Yeah, and catch me over at twitch.tv/cheesy burrito, where we are just now revamping the whole channel and getting into some horror survival games. Peace, guys. Let me know what y'all think down below.